Hello, everyone. How are you today? Today, I am inspired again to talk about boundaries. It seems like an ongoing topic. It seems like we are continuing to learn that lesson, right? It's an ongoing setting the boundaries, learning how to say no, learning how to allocate your time properly to where you are still having enough time and enough room for self-care, right? And the reason why I want to talk about this is as if I didn't know this, I keep stumbling upon the same mistake over and over is when I'm pushing back, like when I'm back into this hustle mindset that I used to be. And sometimes we have to do that, especially if you are a business owner. You'll understand, especially if you are just starting business or starting new directions in business, like I do. You will understand that there's just such an enormous amount of work that is required to even start something new, that you find yourself in this bucket of overwhelm. and and when you're overwhelmed, you are almost like you're frozen. When you're overwhelmed, you're frozen. And then, a lot of us will be like, okay, I'll just follow my to-do list, which is that big, right? And we would push through and hustle, and we'll be sold by those old school masculine mentality mentors who are saying, oh, you gotta hustle, you gotta like stay awake while they're sleeping to compete, to like succeed in life. And like, I've grown out of that philosophy a long fucking time ago. And, I keep coming back to the fact that, yes, there are moments where I have to push through, but every time I do, I end up regretting this. Every time I push through and put effort and overcome what my body's telling me, I feel like shit the next day, and my next day is literally scratched off because I can't. I'm feeling sick. I'm feeling tired. I can't even get up from my bed. And there we go. Like, yes, I pushed through the first day and I stayed up until 12 a.m. And yes, I get some shit half ass accomplished. But the next day, like, I could have split my duties and I could have had the flow and I could have worked half day and then have the second half for my rest. But no, I pushed through because I thought, this is the deadline. I need to meet the deadline. Like, it needs to be done because I planned this and I need to stick to my plan. It doesn't sit well with me to not stick to my plan, right? And that's how all of us are, right? But every single time I do this, I regret because the next morning I don't feel good. Like, I physically am tired. I did not recharge. I did not release or have time to release the negativity from the day, right? Or certain upsets, like certain tasks I haven't accomplished, and I'm upset with myself for not accomplishing that. And I am talking about boundaries at work primarily, right? So, as a business owner, and I know some of you are business owners and some of you are working for a company, and it applies to both, but especially if you own your own business, you really need to put the time into your own self care. And this has been my story over the past since Monday, and actually Sunday. On Sundays, I plan out my week, and I had this massive to do list on Sunday. I literally spent 5 hours planning my week. Right. So I have, clear understanding of what it is that I am really working on and what my focus is. But the problem with that, um, I put so much on my to-do list, and then I'm upset that I did not accomplish it, right? Because I, by default, kind of put way too much, like without really taking into consideration the amount of time that I have to work with and other things that go into just like going through the day, right? And when I don't accomplish, I feel bad at myself for like, hey, I haven't met this goal and I haven't accomplished what I meant for this. And then I also have an accountability coach who like checks in with me. So that's another thing that annoys me, because like it just reminds me what I haven't accomplished. And it's like doubling my pressure on myself. And then sometimes I'm like, I need to fire this girl because like this is not helping. And then other times, like, I'm like, oh, I need to reframe this thinking. Like, she's actually really helping me. And like, she's there for my to facilitate my growth, and whether it's the spiritual side of things that I need to work on, like anyway, I'm like going through this whole circle, and then adding on like the fact that I am like emotionally unstable over the past 3 days because I am going through PMS and my period's about to hit. Like adding all of these up, it's like a roller coaster, right? An emotional roller coaster. So what ended up happening, because I pushed, like I could have easily spread myself and my efforts and my energy evenly and have enough time to, hey, do a little bit of work and then recharge in the second half of the day and do self-care rituals and all those things. I ended up pushing through on Monday and Tuesday, and then come Wednesday, I am things are just happening. Like I am in a bad mood. Things are happening because I'm out of alignment. Like I'm forgetting certain materials at home and not taking it with me when I need to train a person. Because of I'm out of alignment, situations come up. We send wrong links and emails. Like things just come up that wouldn't have come up if my energy was even. And I am, as the owner of the business, I set that energetic flow out throughout the entire system here, right? And that is what ends up happening, and I end up regretting. So I'm literally, every time I'm feel like this is not okay, I'm out of alignment, so I'm like cutting everything that like I was supposed to be doing. It's like my self-care, my priority, right? And like I go to my meditation cave and like I dug myself under the blanket and I rest and I rest and I rest and I rest and I meditate and I meditate and I meditate and I meditate. And that is exactly what happened yesterday. And after giving myself all that time away from everything, really doing the energy work, which is exactly what has happened. I've been so busy with this stuff that I have not paid attention how out of whack my energy, and I had energy tears and energy holes, and like things come up like that wouldn't have. Somebody's messaging me asking me to like not to come to an event, like out of nowhere. Like shitty things start happening when I'm out of alignment, which is exactly what happens when I push, I hustle. That hustle philosophy is wrong. Do not ever follow the hustle philosophy. It's gonna play against you. Hustling and pushing through things is not good. Is not good. Waiting and procrastinating is not good either. You have to find a good balance there, and you need to be understanding with yourself where your balance is, because when you are just pushing through and it's still not working, there's no point in you continuing. I would rather for you to take a rest and come back and do the task another day or another time. Come back to that task, right? But when you are sitting and waiting for something magical to happen, and that's not okay either, right? You need to balance this out. That's why we are talking about energy flow, the feminine masculine energy flow. How do you flow? You need to be very self-aware as to how you work. You need to be very understanding as to, wait a second, I've hit this moment where I am got sucked into Facebook even though I'm sitting at my desk working, right? That is the time when you need to be self-aware, self-conscious. Wait a second, I'm not even working, I'm doing this thing to distract myself from work. It's time to take a break. right? Or time to finish with a task and take the task, take like handle this tomorrow. I'll get back to it tomorrow. And as much as we don't like to like end things halfway, like this is what's required, and that's been work of mine because I don't like to just finish things like in the middle, and I just had to force almost myself to like, okay, I'm not productive, I'm not doing a good job, I know I'm not okay with letting this task be unfinished today, but like I have to shut off my computer because my brain is not functioning anymore, and this is the end, this is the time I need to stop and get back to the same task the next day or whenever I'm available. So I consistently have to rearrange my schedule. Consistently, every day, I would have to rethink my plan for the week. Because things change, certain things don't get accomplished, and certain things do get accomplished. Certain things always get, things always take longer than what they should take, right? And that's unfortunate, but that is kind of the rule. So we need to be okay with that. We need to be kind to ourselves and really dedicate ourselves, give ourselves some love, give ourselves our me time, give ourselves the break, give ourselves time to recharge and reset. I don't recommend go and watch TV because that numbs you out and that doesn't really do the work. I recommend reading a book or switch some other, instead of going from one screen to another, right? I want for you to completely get off any kind of screens and read a book, meditate, listen to some music, go for a walk. Gym is awesome. Like when you go to the gym, like it gets your blood pumping and like gets your brain clear. You just start feeling fresh. Every time I go to the gym, like that's where my best ideas come to me, is when I'm at the gym. Something happens, shift happens, like the portal opens in my brain, and I'm literally like, you should see me at the gym. I'm like with my phone, dictating new ideas, new thoughts into the voice memo so I don't forget, because that is exactly what's happening. Like I create this white space in my brain where other things go to the back, and the front is open, is clear, and that is when I have my downloads, that is when I have solutions to problems, that is when ideas come to me, that is when new things start happening, that is when things are actually happening for me. I used to have it in a bathroom, not in a bathroom, in a shower. In a shower, I still have those moments, but they're not as like right now, like we shifted, like all of my best ideas come to me at the gym, because we are like switching the focus, the body is starting to create new chemical reactions. I'm opening the brain space. Like this is so important. Your gym time, especially if you're a business owner, this should be mandatory on your schedule. This should be part of your everyday. At least a few times a week, right? So that is important. That is very important. And creating that white space that I was talking about, this is super important, because, yet again, when you stop focusing on one thing and you create that white space, and that happens to me when I go for a walk or a hike in nature, or I sit by the ocean, or I walk on the beach. Every time I do that, I also create that white space and new ideas come to me. So that's extremely important if you're a business owner, because you are consistently on the mission to solve different questions. You need to find continuously different solutions, and it requires a lot of mental work, a lot of personal development. And a lot of personal clarity and focus to be a business owner. So, with that, my beautiful love, letting you know that it's important to not push through, despite the fact that all of your Masculine mentors will tell you you gotta hustle and you gotta push through and you gotta find momentum and you gotta, and instead of leaning into what your body tells you, your body has the ultimate wisdom, and your spirituality, your nudging, your intuition will tell you what's best. Because sometimes, like, we don't create. Like, it's funny to think, like, we all think, oh, we create. Yes, we create our own reality, but we create our own reality in our thoughts, and the chain of events is being created beside us, right? And then we need to be following the guidance that's available from up above, from our spirit team, is what I call them, right? It's not just one, it's like the entire team that is working on creating the chain of events, and we call them consequences, right? But your only job is to really be very clear in your energy and how you vibrate on what it is that you want. It's not your job to figure out the how. It's not your job to figure out the how. They are working on that. And unless you have that white space that I'm talking about, you're not going to be able to hear your intuition that's guiding you. Hey, take that exit, take that, go to that place, buy that thing, and you're gonna find out that if you follow in that intuition, you will meet a person at the right timing, and it's going to be the right person for what it is that you want to accomplish, right? And you're going to be like, we call it lucky chance, but there's no such thing as lucky chance or consequent not consequence, coincidences, right? It's all organized by the spirit team. We just don't see it, and the only time we can follow it is if we follow our intuition. And when you push through and when you put all the effort, you actually miss those guidance nudgings, signals that you're being sent from your spirit teams, and you miss opportunities, and you're doing things the hard way, and you're not following your guidance, and you actually not getting the results that you could have been getting if you listened and followed your guidance from your spirit team. So with that, I want to leave you with a thought: don't hustle, follow what your body tells you. Your body has the ultimate wisdom. You have the ultimate wisdom, not the guys on the internet who tell you persevere and hustle and not sleep through the night and work while they're sleeping. No, that's not how things work. In fact, yes, a certain amount of work does need to happen, but I always say, it does not mean that you have to be the one doing the work. Somebody else could do the work. Sometimes you have to teach someone to do the work so they do the work, right? Your main task in this is be very clear with your energy, and release the way it's going to come to you. Release the why, the how. You only need to know the why behind it. You only need to know the what, and the how will appear to us if we follow our guidance, not if we persevere. Every time I do this, and I just learned that same mistake over and over, like, I keep learning that as a business owner, I keep learning that mistake, like, I keep stumbling upon it, and like, I regret every time I said through 12 a.m. I regretted that the next day. So I need, it's a mental note for me myself to be smarter with how I allocate my energy as well. So with that, my beautiful ladies, thank you so much for tuning in today, and I'll speak to you soon. Mwah. Love you.